Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today for another process video. Once again, I am using my September hip kit on this layout, and it worked perfectly for my California vacation pictures. And in this layout, I'm actually scrapping some pictures of the seals at the wharf in San Francisco. And I took that striped piece of paper from the Amy Tan Finder's Keepers collection, and I knew that I wanted to use that paper. I love it, but it's so bold and busy that I knew I couldn't use as a whole sheet. So I covered up the bottom of it with a piece from the Dear Lizzie documentary collection and glued that down on top. But then I still felt like the top was too busy, so I got out some white gesso and I'm just smearing it around with my fingers to kind of just, tone down a little bit of that background. And I'm not going to cover up a whole bunch of it, but it's just enough where I feel like my pictures will still stand out once I put them down and not just totally blend in with that paper. And I still have another sheet of that paper. I do love it, and I'll probably use it maybe as like a matting piece or, a mat around my photo, something like that. It's really cute, and at this point, like this is still early on in my process of using this kit, but I think I end up getting probably 10 or 11 layouts out of this kit, which is awesome. And I did get the extra paper pack, so I have two of all of the papers, and towards the end of scrapping all those pictures, I don't have that many full sheets left, and this is one of them, but there aren't a whole lot of full sheets, so I feel like I'm doing a really good job on killing this kit. So anyway, so I let that dry. I think I did use my heat gun a little bit on it to help it dry, but I try not to use my heat gun all the time because I feel like it does make the paper warp more. So I try and let things dry naturally. The only problem is I don't get a lot of time to myself for scrapping. So I feel like when I get my time to scrap, I want to be productive. So, and I'm trying to be not so particular about layouts as I typically am, and I'm just trying to get them done. I mean, I still want to like them, but I sometimes it would take me days to do a layout, and I'm trying to speed that process up a little bit so that I actually get things done. And my hopes is that when I get done with all of these layouts from my using my September kit, I'll try and do a kill a kit video, which I've never done before because I think in all my years of scrapping, I've only ever killed maybe one kit. And most people probably still wouldn't consider that kit killed, but for me it was. So, but this one I'm really happy that I'm getting a ton of layouts out of this kit. So here I'm on my center photo. I wanted that one to stand out a little bit more, so I'm gonna mat it on that grayish paper from Ellie's studio. I kind of had a hard time without paper. I don't know why. I guess maybe because it was gray and cream, and I'm used to more like gray and white. I do like the back side of it too, which I do end up using it in other layouts with that side showing. So I'm trying to challenge myself more and not be so matchy on things, feeling like everything has to be totally matching in there. So I popped that one up on some dimensional adhesive and just used my regular ATG on the other two photos. And I did play with this layout a bunch because I initially thought I wanted to have the photos kind of going down in a vertical type nature on the page, but I couldn't figure out how I wanted to lay it out just right and layer all the paper, so I decided to have it going across in a horizontal manner instead. And I do like the way it ended up turning out. So I pulled out one of the tags that we got. We got like 3 or 4 tags from the Finders Keepers collection in our kit. So I pulled out one of those because I'm trying to use those up. And I love the blue on that tag. I think it matches great with that background paper. And so I'm just going through the embellishment pack and pulling out different things that I think would be cute on this layout. And at the bottom I do end up using some of the little houses that I pulled out because I thought, well, at the wharf there's kind of like all the buildings on the water, so I thought that went well. And I had that, hello, my name is, oh, how fun, which I don't use that on this layout in the end because I'm going to use that on another layout down the road. But, I move things around and finally I start sticking some things down. That little orange or lemon slice, whatever it is, up top, I'm going to end up pulling that off because I just don't, in the end, think it is that great. So I do pull that off, and I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I must be looking for something. Okay, so I have these glittery chipboard hearts that are from Studio Calico 7 papers, and I had not used them at all, and I'm really bad about using my own embellishments since I do subscribe to the Hip Kit Club, so I'm trying to incorporate some of my own embellishments in with my kit stuff, so I did use up some of these, and I'm trying to use them in a lot of my layouts, and, because who doesn't love gold glittery hearts? Maybe there's somebody out there, but I love them, so. So they do go well with this, this kit, so I'm using some of those along the way. So I had that pretty fantastic tag, and I did put I had some golden white twine, which I actually kind of like the way that looks now that I've, was seeing it on here, but I switched it out and I pulled some twine from my stash, just black and white twine from Doodlebug. And I did end up using that, but I don't love it. I think it's a little too thick, and I probably should have pulled out my twine that I have from American Crafts because I have one of their things of twine that has like two spools of each color of the twine, and it's a little bit thinner than the Doodlebug twine, which normally I do love thick twine, but in this case I thought it was kind of just, I don't know, it was kind of standing out too much. But anyways, I'm going to end up leaving that twine on there, but here I go now fussing with that bottom corner where I'm trying to add embellishments, and but I kind of switch back and forth because I'm having issues with the bottom right hand corner and figuring out what I want to put there. But I am going to go ahead and stick this tag down, and I didn't put it totally straight, and that was on purpose. And now I'm not sure once again what I'm doing. Oh, okay, so I thought that I was going to, which I think I did end up putting a strip of, I'm going to put a strip of one of the strips on the bottom of the papers, the branding strips. I have the same one kind of underneath the photos. It peeks out. I used it over under there, but I thought I needed a little bit something on the bottom just as a grounding piece. So I'm going to end up putting that there, and you can see that now. And, so now I'm going to try and look at building this right lower corner, and so I'm just messing around with some of the pieces that were in the ephemera pack. And I think the pieces are really cute in that pack, but sometimes I have a hard time using some of them. I don't know. But I didn't like the way things were going down on the page, so I did pull out that washi book, and I'm going to kind of build a little sort of, I guess, background or grounding spot with some of the pieces of washi. And I think I just took like 2 or 3 different pieces. And I'm actually pretty impressed with myself on the washi booklet too, because usually I am not good at using those things, but I'm really trying to make a concerted effort to use that stuff. And so I picked a wood grain piece because I felt like I kind of had, the tan from the ephemera piece up in the top left corner, and then I have that tag in the center, so I felt like I needed just a little bit of something down in the right bottom corner to balance it out. So I'm going to use that, and I'm obviously putting glue on something. So, there was the arrow. So I took one of the pink arrow after I got my washi down, and I think those arrows are cute in the pack. I'm not planning good because I should have stuck this little house down because I decided that I want to use that little house or building, whatever you want to call it. But I made it work because the other one wasn't totally dry yet. So I get that stuck underneath the arrow, so that I have some more of the green down in that corner. But now I'm looking at those rub-ons because I feel like the area with my tag is kind of just a little bit too boring. And so I think it needs a pop of pink because, that top left has a pop of pink and then the bottom has a pop of pink. So I feel like this centerpiece needs a little pop of pink as well. So I get those, pull out the rub-ons, and of course I had already stuck the tag down because who would ever think ahead? So, so there I go, rubbing that down. And I like the way that just gives a little bit more of just a little pop of color there besides the tag. And I'm going to get that out, and I'm liking that a little bit better. And for some reason I feel like it's very hard for me to do layouts without pink. I love pink. And for those of you who do not love pink, I'm sorry. You will probably always see pink in my layouts. But I must say I am loving all this blue in this kit. I do love blue as well as pink, and I think this is a really pretty color blue. So at this point, I'm going to start looking at my title, and it's going to be pretty simple. It's just going to be at the wharf. And on this page, I'm actually not even going to do any journaling, mainly because I didn't have a real good spot to make it fit in, and I didn't want to make it look just after the fact. And I think this is pretty much a story we're going to remember anyways, because we were at the wharf and we were looking at the seals right there in the water. They always come up to the boats, to the fishing boats when they come back from being out for the day. And while they're cleaning out their boats, the seals will come along, and sometimes they get little handouts from the charter boat captains. So they're cute. They play around over there, and so we just spent a little time watching them over there. So I'm just laying those letters out. Those are from October Afternoon, the Daily Flash letters. I love those letters. I love the little ones too that are on the back side. And so I'm making those just a little bit wonky. Everything about this layout is a little bit, wonky. I don't want things to be completely straight. And because I want to follow that playful nature of the seals and just how, keep everything kind of playful. So I get those stuck down, and I'm hoping they stay stuck down. A lot of times I sew over those because, they're so easy to move, which usually when letters are easy to move like that, they're not going to stay put. But hopefully they'll be okay. So I took a date stamp, and I just stamped the date a couple of times in there. And I think other than that, I think I added some India ink splatters on there, which after the fact I kind of wish that I didn't add. Oh, I add some more of those gold hearts, but I was wishing I didn't add those black splatters, which you'll see at the end. They kind of, in different papers, it soaks in differently, and sometimes it makes nice round dots, and then other times it just makes, they kind of spread out and look just, I don't even know how to explain it, but they don't look that great to me. And this is one of those layouts where I did it, and I didn't think they looked that great after it dried, but that's okay. We can't love all of our layouts. So here I go, putting those dots on there. And they look fine when they first go down, but when they start drying, that's when they just don't look that great. So this is pretty much it. Thanks for joining me, and I've got some still photos coming up for you now.